Good afternoon. This is week 2 of Social Work 633, and the topic for week 2 is cultural sensitivity and competence with an emphasis on race, ethnicity, and class. So, as always, in terms of the introduction for this week, effective family therapy and social work practice has to be informed by a complex understanding of culture, including the large and small effects of an individual's culture on their attitudes, values, and beliefs. Also, the complex ways in which cultures intersect with one another. And this module will examine the role of cultural competency in family therapy, addressing areas of ethnicity, class, and race. So the learning objectives are as follows: to provide definitions of cultural competency and its relevance to family therapy, to identify at least 2 culturally based countertransference reactions when working with a family different from yours, to describe the key concepts of cultural competency that might be helpful if you worked with a family portrayed in the documentary Inside Life Outside. So there are a number of learning activities for this week, but first let's go over the learning resources, and there are a number of them. So there's a number of readings, and you can download them by clicking on the links. Then you're also asked to download at least one of the following articles for reference. So there's a number of them for you to choose from as well. There are 2 websites. One is looking at Social Work Matters, and it's a website, and that I will move this over, that specifically focuses on Black Lives Matter and anti-racism resources for social workers and therapists. The second is, we'll move this over again. The second is from the Council on Social Work Education, Cultural Adaptation of Behavioral Interventions. So there is a video that you are to look at this week, a documentary. It is fairly old, but it's called Inside Life Outside, and it gives you a picture of the lives of a group of homeless individuals and a family that has come together in this video, and their lives. So family is defined in this video beyond just the mother, father, and children. It is defined by the people who've come together to try to survive in this homeless area of New York City. So that video you will look at because it will be part of one of the discussion posts. This podcast is an interview with Dr. Larry E. Davis, who was the Dean of the School of Social Work for the University of Pittsburgh. Up until, I believe, 2018, Dr. Davis recently passed away this year, earlier in 2021. And he wrote extensively about issues on race, ethnicity, and class. So let's look at the discussion posts for this week. There are 2. So there is a cultural competence resource that you'll download, and also after that download and completing the readings for this week, you are to do the following: combining what you've read about cultural competence this week and your own interpretation of this concept, provide your definition of cultural competence. Now that you've provided a definition of cultural competence, describe a client interaction that reflects your ideas about what it means to be culturally competent. And you are responding to one of your classmates, so the initial post is due by Thursday, and the follow-up between Friday and Sunday. The next is based on that video, Inside Life Outside. And so you are also answering questions, discuss the impact of race, class, and gender on this family's dynamic and their access to needed resources. And then at least two of the following additional questions. And again, your post is due initially on Thursday. The follow-up is due on Friday. And the last assignment for this week is a reflection paper. And it is, I believe, a 2 to 3 page paper. So the instructions for that paper are as follows. It's due by the end of week 2, which means it's due by Sunday. And after reading the week 1 article by Branson, Radu, and Loving, you're going to write a reflection paper. And this paper looks at issues related to the family experiences of MSW students compared to other students in other disciplines. And you're going to write a short summary of the important points, your reaction to those points, and then reaction of any implications that you see for social work education and for working with clients. Citations, like all papers you will read, you will use. Direct quotes, remember, require you to also list the page number from where that quote is derived, and or paraphrasing anything that's not your idea, you should also make sure to cite. So here's the rubric for that paper. So attached to the announcement is a PowerPoint that is based on a presentation that I did that describes broadly this topic of cultural diversity. If you have an opportunity, take a look at that attached PowerPoint. I discuss the topic of cultural humility as well as cultural competence. Cultural humility recognizes that we may never be totally competent in somebody else's culture, but if we have an open mind, if we're willing to learn, if we're willing to look at someone else's worldview, then we have a good chance of being able to walk in somebody else's shoes and also learn from them about what is important in their culture, what are the aspects of their culture that we should know about when we are interacting with them. And it means that it is not our way, but it is the worldview of the person from whom we are trying to gain knowledge and with whom we are trying to help achieve their goals and objectives. So with that, these are the assignments for the week. If you have any questions about the readings or the assignments, please get in touch with me as quickly as possible and have a wonderful week.